If you're a gadget fan, home automation opens up a whole new realm of fun and useful gadgets. Let's take a look. Thanks for joining us on the Gadget Talk channel, where we do reviews and how-tos on a variety of electronic gadgets that catch my eye. In this video, we're going to take a look at the very cool area of home automation. As always, if you find this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. My first experience with home automation technologies began many years ago with a power line based system that you could use to control lights, turning them on and off, as well as dimming and brightening them. While cool, that system was limited and it soon fell out of favor. Current systems make use of Wi-Fi and provide a much more robust set of capabilities. Before jumping into the hardware aspects of home automation, let's do a quick overview of what the current version of home automation is all about for those of you who are just now thinking about installing some level of automation at your house. Let's start with an overview of home automation basics with the goal of having a home automation system set up and running while spending as little as about $200. As with most descriptions and systems, we need to make a couple of assumptions. First, you will need to have high-speed internet service at your location. For most of us, that will mean a cable modem. Second, you'll need to have a wireless router connected to that service. There are many brands available, or you may choose to rent one from your cable provider. Your best choice will be a dual-band router with both 2.4 and 5.0 gigahertz bands. Many of the devices that will make up your system will talk to each other via your Wi-Fi. Most will use the 2.4 gigahertz band. More on that later. Last, you'll need a smartphone. It can be either an Android or an Apple phone. In a nutshell, home automation systems are made up of two parts. First and most important are the smart devices that do something in your home. These things include smart switches and dimmers, smart plugs, smart bulbs, and a variety of triggering devices such as motion detectors and magnetic sensors. In the low to medium price device category, these devices will connect to your home's Wi-Fi network and to an app on your smartphone. When choosing devices, you may want to consider choosing a brand that has a wide variety of various kinds of devices that you intend to use. In so doing, you'll limit the number of apps downloaded to your phone because, of course, you can't control devices from different brands using the same app. As you'll see in a minute, this is not required when using an integration solution which can tie these various apps together. When this does become more important is when you want to do a basic automation system you control from your phone. Fewer brands means fewer apps to access to do the various commands. For example, if you have a bunch of Kasa brand smart switches to control various lights and a couple of Singled smart bulbs, you'll need to access both apps to make changes. What I've just described here is a very basic home automation system that still requires a fair amount of interaction to manipulate all your various devices. You can set up this level of automation very inexpensively. However, by adding the second part to your system, your automation functions become much more robust. So, let's chat about that function. Integration is the part of the home automation that likely comes to mind when you hear the term home automation. These devices are often referred to as voice assistants. There are several popular ways to add functions to your home automation system and to integrate the various devices you plan to use. They work similarly, but again, they don't play well together. Each of these systems, or ecosystems as they're sometimes called, are made up of two primary parts. The first function is the voice assistant. This function allows you to talk to the device. Basic commands include playing music, asking questions such as, "What is the forecast for today?" The second part is the integration function. You can connect the various apps I described earlier to allow the integrator to pass commands to your connected devices. Combined, you can now tell your voice assistant to turn on lights or to change the temperature on a connected thermostat. Let's look at 3 common choices. First, if you're an Apple fan and use iPhones and Apple computers, you'll want to take a look at a product called HomeKit. As with most Apple products and Apple-related products, Apple insists on a fair amount of control over the devices to ensure they work in the Apple ecosystem. This means that while you can do all the typical home automation tasks within HomeKit, your device's choices may be more limited and, likely, more expensive. Next is Google. Google has a wide range of Nest-branded products such as thermostats, cameras, doorbells, and the like. These can be controlled by a Nest speaker that includes the ability to process voice commands. If you've ever used your Android phone and Google app to search for things by saying, "Hey Google," you've experienced the Google Assistant. Google Home Automation will also allow you to connect to the various apps you may have installed to connect to non-Google devices in your home system. Be sure to look for brand information that says "Works with Google" if you choose to coordinate your system using the Google infrastructure. Third is a hugely popular Amazon ecosystem using the various versions of an Echo device. You'll control the system using the Echo device or devices of your choice, along with setting up specific integration devices, routines, and other variables using the Alexa app on your smartphone. In terms of device variability, Amazon is the leader right now. Echo devices range in price from about $20 for a basic third-generation Echo Dot to the newest Echo with built-in Zigbee hubs at about $100. There are also several versions of the video-enabled Echo Show that can cost from less than $50 on sale to about $250 in the newest Echo Show 15 wall-mounted station. These devices are often steeply discounted during winter holidays or on Amazon's Prime Day. If you're just starting out, it may be worth it to go with an older Echo Dot, which will run everything just fine, and then add devices and capabilities when you find them on sale. Amazon purchased the Ring brand, so like Google, it has several Ring-branded devices that work seamlessly with Echoes. Also, like Google, Echo devices will easily integrate various Wi-Fi-based devices by connecting through their apps. The latest Echo device also has a Zigbee hub built into the device. This is beyond getting a basic system up and running, so let's just say that this function will allow Echo to recognize Zigbee-based devices without needing to connect them to your home's Wi-Fi. Depending on your brand preferences and where you see you taking your home automation system in the future, any of these 3 products or families or ecosystems will work just fine. Since most of the Wi-Fi devices will work equally well with either Google or Amazon Echo integration devices, it's pretty easy to try them both since the entry-level devices are only about $25. Get one to start with and change over if you decide it doesn't work for your preferences. As for me, I went with the Amazon Echo devices. More device options were more important to me than better search responses, which is where Google holds the edge. Many of the examples we'll discuss here and in follow-on videos will be Amazon-based. Google and HomeKit work pretty much the same way. So far, we've discussed devices and the various ecosystems you can choose from. Now, let's talk about the kinds of things you can do with your home automation system. There are some specific brand actions, but for the most part, basic home automation tasks are pretty similar. Let's take a look. The first and most obvious tasks involve turning lights on and off. This also includes dimming and, with smart bulbs, changing colors and or color temperatures. When envisioning your smart home, you can control lights using several common smart devices. At its most basic, you can use a smart switch mounted where your existing light switch is mounted to turn the associated light on and off. These switches are fairly inexpensive to purchase and easy to install. Basic on-off switches start at about $15 or a bit less when on sale. If you are replacing a wall-mounted dimmer or would like to add dimming to lights controlled by the switch, you can get a smart dimmer switch for just under $25. These switches will be Wi-Fi switches that require what is called a neutral wire in your home's wiring. The neutral wire is a white wire normally bundled together with several other white wires using a wire nut. Be careful when installing smart switches to ensure you are connecting the neutral bundle. In my home, I discovered that the people who did the texturing and painting when the house was built ended up covering most of the wires in the junction boxes, so I had to scrape the wire's insulation to see what color they really were. Neutral wires became code in the 1980s, so if your house is newer than that or has been rewired since then, you're likely to have a neutral wire. As you can see in the screenshots from the Kasa brand installation instructions embedded in the Kasa smartphone app, installing these switches will be within the capability of most do-it-yourselfers. It's likely the only additional tools you'll need will be a non-contact voltage detector. I got one at Lowe's for about $10. Be sure to follow the instructions in terms of shutting off the circuit at your home's electrical panel. You'll need to make an additional trip to the box when installing a dimmer, as you'll need to know both the line and load wires on your existing switch. It's not important on the simple on-off switch. If you're not comfortable swapping switches, call a licensed electrician. These are easy installs and he or she should be able to make quick work of them. Another way to control lights is to use a smart plug. There are several brands in the low price category and you can get two for about $16. With these devices, you simply plug the smart plug into the wall outlet, leave your lamp or other plug-in device on, and plug it into the smart plug. Your home automation system will energize or de-energize the device, and your lamp will turn on or off. These smart plugs won't dim lights, however. The last primary way to control lights is to use a smart bulb. As with the smart plug, you leave the lamp or other lighting fixture on, screw in the bulb, and connect the bulb to your home automation system using the bulb's brand's smartphone app. Bulbs can be connected via Wi-Fi or Zigbee protocols. Be sure to verify what connection your new bulb uses and what connections you have available. For most basic systems, the Wi-Fi connected bulb will work fine. With these bulbs, you can either use the brand's smartphone app or your integration app, such as Amazon's Echo app, to control such things as on and off, brightness, color temperature, and even color depending on the bulb's function. Basic Wi-Fi bulbs on the inexpensive end of the spectrum can be had for about $7 each in multi-packs. Premium brands go for about $30 each. In most cases, it's better to control multi-bulb fixtures or ceiling-mounted can lights with switches rather than individual smart bulbs. It's not only less expensive, but adds fewer devices to your home's Wi-Fi network. For each of these devices, the smartphone app will guide you through the process of connecting the device to your home network. They will also have a menu item inviting you to connect the app to your smart home integration device, whether Amazon, Google, or HomeKit. The heart of a basic home automation system is going to be lighting. There are, however, a couple of other fairly common and inexpensive additions you can make to even a basic smart home installation. One is to see if your TV can be connected to your smart controller. Many new TVs come with smart home capability built in. For example, my Samsung TV can connect via Samsung SmartThings app. I've linked it to my Echo and I do basic functions like turning the TV on and off and changing channels. Truth be told, using your voice assistant to make a bunch of selections on the TV can become fairly tedious, and I'd rather use my remote. Another is to control your garage door. You can use a simple Wi-Fi device to trigger the open and close commands on your garage door, and with an included sensor, it can tell you if the door is open or closed. You can also use more advanced programming options to close the door after a certain amount of time or at a specific time to ensure that it's not left open overnight. Last for this short list is cameras. You can also connect Wi-Fi cameras to your smart home. Some use a power cord and others use a battery. These cameras allow you to view your home using the brand's smartphone app or on your voice assistant if it has a video screen. Moving into camera-based home security is going a bit beyond a basic system, so we'll leave it at that. In terms of devices, these are the ones that a basic system will make use of. Let's wrap this up with some of your voice assistant's features to do some other cool stuff that doesn't cost anything extra. As we've already discussed, when you link your smart devices to your assistant, you'll be able to tell the assistant to manipulate the devices. This may include turning lights on and off, adjusting brightness, or changing color. Beyond that, your voice assistant can do a number of things to make even a basic system seem quite sophisticated. First and foremost, voice assistants are smart speakers. That means you can play music and other streaming content through them. This includes video if you're using a video-enabled device such as an Amazon Echo Show. The assistant will also allow you to connect to your favorite music service and listen to music. For example, I have my Echo set to access Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and SiriusXM. To listen, I simply say the trigger word and say, play watercolors on SiriusXM, or play Christmas music on iHeartRadio. A moment or two later, I'll be listening to the music. Another included function in your voice assistant is the ability to run routines. Routines are groups of commands run sequentially to set a lighting scene or to do other tasks. For example, one Echo function is called Flash Briefing. You can choose from several providers such as CNN, Fox News, Fox Business, and NPR, among others. This function will give you a short synopsis of current top news stories. I have embedded the weather briefing, a couple of news flash briefings, and a report of things in my Google Calendar into my Good Morning routine. That routine turns on several lights in my family room and works through my flash briefings and calendar. I finished up the routine with playing watercolors for some smooth jazz for about 30 minutes before turning off. My goodbye or I'm leaving command turns off all the lights except one for my dog in case I'm late getting back. My I'm home command starts a routine that turns on my family room lights so I can see when entering the house after dark. Since it's the winter holiday season as I record this video, I also have a Christmas on and Christmas off routine to turn on some of the Christmas decorations. These routines simply include on or off commands for the smart plugs I've got my decorations plugged into. The last thing I'll mention are what Amazon calls skills. Echo devices have access to thousands of downloadable skills that cover a huge area of interest. For example, you can access trivia games, nutrition recommendations, and a whole boatload of skills provided by third parties to help with productivity, entertainment, and so on. As you think about adding some home automation functions to your home, you'll want to consider some of the things we've discussed. The good news is that you can be well on your way to having some very nice home automation functions for a very small investment. And you can even decide to change voice assistants. Most devices will work with any of them. You don't have to start over with everything. Be on the lookout for some follow-on videos where we'll take a look at some of the specific devices you'll want to consider for your smart home. As always, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching.